Hey guys, what's up? This is Phillips123. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I just want to do something really casual, really fun, and zesty today. And that is the Mexican pizza from Taco Bell has come out. Hey bitch, love your existence. Now, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on my channel, but I am one of those people that low-key vibes, loves Taco Bell. My mom used to work at Taco Bell when I was a kid, so it's just kind of like this big comfort food thing for me. And feel free to leave all of how Taco Bell is trash in the comments. I know, we all have our vices. So, let's do an unboxing, mukbang, whatever the fuck I want to do. It's gonna be just kind of a casual vlog, and I want to talk about my content network as we like kind of chill. I don't have my stand, I'm obviously in my car, so here we go. I love this vibe. It's very vintage. I can't talk today. I kind of love it. It's kind of retro, kind of fun. And can I open this with one hand? We're going to find out. This is my sexy bitch. Hey, I love you. Oh my goodness. So we're just kind of vibing today. We're just kind of like hanging out. I just started work again this week, which is so nice. I've been working as a caterer now for about, I want to say a month or 2 months technically, but it's been about a few weeks, like, continuously, because I've had a lot of time off recently. It's not the worst, but it's one of those things where it's like you're either really busy or you're dead in the industry, and so I'm getting used to it. It's one of those things I'm just like, want to start a new period in my life. I just really want to get out of the funk I've been in, so I'm looking to really switch jobs, just really push myself in my career, and it's exciting, but it is something that I'm adjusting to. So I'm always the type of bitch that saves like the main thing for last. I know, I'm so naughty. I like the idea of mukbangs because I am the type of person that like, food is a love language, you know what I mean? And one of the things I love to do is I love to eat out, and I really wish that when I dated that more people would like to eat out with me. Because I am absolutely the type of person that wants to go to a restaurant, read the menu, like order a couple courses, like just try everything, you know? Like, I was a day who's like, ooh, can I try that? And I share my food too, okay, but I don't know, I haven't had a lot of people that I get to actually, like, do that with, so I like the idea of mukbangs. It's like a parasocial, like, dinner date, you know what I mean? But the only issue with that is that it's actually really hard to actually film and hold a conversation and also, like, eat food without being self-conscious. Because it's just like, yeah, this is how I feel about the death penalty. I actually don't watch any mukbang content really enough. Like, I watch so much YouTube, so many different, like, genres and creators, and I've never actually seen, like, a honest-to-goodness mukbang. Isn't that weird? Like, that feels weird to me. But, I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll have to, like, check out. Maybe that's something, like, I should just really get into. Ooh, that might be a fun Twitch stream. Just like, I got suspended from Twitch for like a week, and I did counter it, or whatever you call it, because, not because I don't think I didn't deserve being suspended, but just because I wanted to have like a record of my, like, I wanted to have like I want to make sure there was a document, you know what I mean? In case I ever like have that type of thing happen again, I want to make sure that people know what happened on the stream, what was going on. I guess I can talk about it here. Basically, I was on the Twitters, and I did not have my safe search on, which, bad move, Ryan. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if like this Twitter is connected to the ARG. Well, it wasn't, and also it was connected to a dick pic. And I got my account flagged, and, you know, I can't say that I didn't unintentionally show a dick pic, you know, I mean, like, it was an accident, but that was definitely a full-ass penis on screen, so, I mean, I get it, like, people are doing their jobs, at the same time, it's just kind of sad, because I do like to Twitch stream. Also, like, follow me on Twitch, 1, 2, 3. Okay, moment of truth. Let's actually try some of this Mexican pizza and see if it's any good. It's good. I miss this so much. Like, Mexican pizza is one of my favorite, like, things to order at Taco Bell. And when they got discontinued in 2020, I'm just like, you're right. This is the worst year. I'm out of work for 3 months and I can't also binge eat my favorite thing. Like, you hate me, like, the universe. Okay, guys. I'm gonna go for my second taco. Make a bunch of noise. I know. So good. Like, you're just like, False Bullsy, how did you get so good at ASMR? Like, how did you get so good at ASMR? Just make a bunch of noise, why don't you? I'm just fucking around. I'm in a pretty good place emotionally right now. Like, I'm vibing. I feel pretty happy right now, and I'm really happy for that. But let's actually talk about my content, because I am really excited with that. And try to get me in a comfy cat. I'm trying to like sit like I usually do in chairs. There we go. There's like specifically a way that I like to sit when I'm having a conversation, and it's hard to do in a car seat. Okay, you get this. You got me. You're just like watching this video, you glance away for 1 second, and the next thing I know, I am wilding out in a car seat. Hi, welcome to False Bullsy's bullshit hour. So, pretty much this year, I've really wanted to be more professional with my content. I realized that a lot of the content that I've made on my channel, I've been following trends. I've been following things that I thought would be a good marketing, like, concept. But I realized that I'm not the type of person that enjoys making these weekly types of vlogs. And I realized that the type of and there's this adage of make the content you want to see. And that's kind of difficult sometimes because I love to see a bunch of content. I watch a lot of different YouTubers of a lot of different styles and formats and times, and I realized that what I really enjoy a lot of times, like what my favorite type of content is, at least now, is I like video essays. It's something it's something that I definitely do already in my content. It's something where I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this idea, I want to talk about this idea, and so I feel like my reading vlogs and I haven't really done that many reading vlogs. I guess the content I've been making, my wrap-up videos, they're already kind of been like miniature video essays. And that's kind of, and I've had a hard time really just summarizing books that way. I do like BookTube. I do think it's a really great community, but I've realized the more that I've made BookTube content, I don't actually enjoy. I like seeing that content to an extent. I feel like a few weeks into like the year, everyone's talking about the same books, and so it's a little hard to really enjoy people having the same 5 opinions about the same 10 books. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it is enjoyable, but it gets a bit samey for me after a while, and that's me. That is my own personal feeling as a viewer, that I do like it, but in small doses. It's not something I can watch avidly multiple channels all the time. And I realize that I do like reading, and I am a reader. I do love to read. But I realize that when I actually make it a point to make that into content, to contenticize it, there's not a word for that, you know what I mean? That it just prevents me from really living the moment and actually reading books. Because if I read I'll read a book in like the library and I'll love it, but then I'm like, oh, I have to write this down, I have to make a summary about it, I have to do all of these things, and it's so much work, and it really just commodifies my hobby in the same way. And so I'm trying to really enjoy reading, but I realize that I'm okay with shying away with that kind from that kind of book content. And I mean the sort of like more trendy stuff, like wrap-ups, unbox, like stuff like that, you know, like the wrap-ups, my genre picks for this year, like all the stuff that I've been doing for the last year. It's fun, it is good content, and there's a lot of creators who are really good at making it, but I'm not the type of person that is a good creator for it, if that makes sense. And so I've been working on some different types of content, and I am not the type of person that wants to put myself into one genre, you know what I mean? It's definitely the type of thing, I'm always going to make the content that I am going to make. I try to view a channel and any hobby I really do, any hobby, I try to look at it as, this isn't something that I'm doing, this is something that gives me an excuse to do what I want. I'm using this to tell myself that I do have the time for something. I am using this hobby to make time to try new things and do things that I might not have felt the energy to have to do. You know what I mean? It's a goal I set for myself, and I gamify it in that way. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? So I've always wanted to see all of the Conjuring-verse movies, so I said, okay, well, let's just watch them, and then let's make a video about it, and that really energizes me to actually go through with that. So that's going to come out next on my channel, hopefully. I just have a little bit of editing left to do for it, and I'm really excited. I put a lot of work into that, so it's kind of my first professional video essay, and I went all out. I was wilding. I had a few friends voice act for me, which was really fun, and that was something definitely new. I've never collabed with anybody. I've never asked somebody to, like, you know, help me or, like, guest produce something, so that was definitely a new experience, and it's something that I'm really pushing myself towards as a content creator, learning how to network, learning to learn how to produce, you know, do things like that, because it's something that I don't have that experience with, and that's a good skill to have. That is always something that, like, you know, you can apply to different things. I just, like, show up 10 years from now, it's like, yeah, I'm like a bitchin' ass cook, I can sew, and I'm actually a pretty decent video producer. Like, when did that happen? Don't know, honey. I would not say that I am. You see my stuff, it is alright. And I'm working on really developing that. You know what I mean? Developing my filmography, developing everything. Because I'm having fun learning, I'm having fun just creating content. And part of that is growing as a person with skills and stuff. As you can see by this beautiful framing and lighting and just my gorgeous screen presence. Just like, look at all this screen presence. So that's how my little cousin eats his tacos, and it drives my aunt crazy. Riddle me this. Like, in mukbangs, do you think the main appeal is the eating, or do you think the main appeal is the conversation? Because on one hand, I feel like conversation is nice, but there is something so satisfying about the mechanical motion, like the tactile sensation of eating. I notice for me, the kind of thing that really hits that dopamine type vibe whenever I'm like stress eating something, whenever I'm engaging in my vices, whenever I'm just doing a coke. But whenever I'm just like, oh, I really want some comfort food, I realize that the things I sort of gravitate towards tend to be more textural. Might explain why I eat so much Taco Bell, because I can think it's like a lot of fast food for me, it tastes the same. It's not like a really unique flavor profile. It tends to very much blend together. It's like meat, cheese, corn, pretty much. But the thing that really gets for me is texture. That's also one of the reasons why I like Taco Bell burritos, is that, like, they're just these chewy tortillas and, like, this sort of, like, bean paste, and just, they're not they're underwhelming on the palate to an extent, but they make up for the type of just sensation of eating, which has been so fascinating. Like, the physical, tactile design of food. Such an interesting thing. And texture is something that, like, cooks actually do play around with. It's something that I definitely consider when you're making a dish, because it's all about design. Culinary, cooking in general, is a type of design. And so when you're talking about a dish, you are considering texture elements. That's why you see things like Parmesan crisp, why you see things like sesame seeds. You want to have something that is a different context, a difference in kind from, like, the main dish. And so you might put something crunchy or something chewy in a dish to help change the way you interact with the food. And that's great. It's one of those things that it's enrichment. That's literally it. You have these ways that you have all of these different elements that are either congruent with different themes in the dish, or they stand out to contrast it. And so that's one of those things, is that you have to consider that when you're making a dish. You have to consider that with, like, what you pair it with. And these principles hold the same even if you're making fast food or if you're making home cooking. And so that's one of the reasons why I really dislike people who are snobbish at different levels of cooking, who say, oh, if it's not haute cuisine, it can wait. You know what I mean? It's snobbish and it's classist. Let's be very clear on that. Fast food, while it is an issue, broader, like, issue of capitalism, is something that is accessible to people who work long hours, people who are lower class, people who do not have the skills or ability to cook. And so a lot of times when people are shaming someone for eating fast food, you're really shaming people who need that accessibility in food. And that is not cool. That is not cash money of you. And so, yeah, you might shame people for eating fast food, but if you are working a 12-hour shift and you get out at like 11 or 12 at night, usually a fast food restaurant is the only one that's open. And it's also the only one that's affordable to eat if you're, like, strapped in cash. And so I do not shame people on how they eat. I do not shame people on how they cook. That being said, it's always nice to learn how to cook better. It's always good to learn and grow as a person in the kitchen. You don't have to, but you have to eat. It's kind of like with mattresses. You can buy a shitty mattress, but you're going to sleep on it every day, so you might as well invest. You know what I mean? This video was brought to you by Mattresspedia. No, it wasn't. I'm so busy jibber-jabbering that my taco was getting soggy. The night after a party, when you're, like, kind of still drunk or hungover, and the only thing in your fridge is, like, what's remained of a Taco Bell family pack, and all the tacos are kind of, like, soggy in the bottom, but you just, that's it. When, like, the day after, like, if you, like, have a, like, Taco Bell hard taco, and you put it in the freezer, the day after, it has the exact same texture as those Jack in the Box tacos. And you know why? You want my zesty hot take? I fucking hate Jack in the Box. Zesty take, and then I just eat a bunch of cheese. Okay, so I guess I should get back into, like, the actual content we're making. Okay, so Conjuring verse video. Discuss that. What next? But I'm working on this new series called Read the Controversy. A new series on my channel where we read controversial, infamous, and otherwise polarizing works, explore the zeitgeist and controversy. I can't talk. So, the zeitgeist and controversy around it. I don't know why I try to do this horrible, like, Sunday, like, this weird, like, cadence to it, but yeah. It's basically, I'm reading controversial books, I'm reading polarizing books, I'm reading infamous books, just, like, anything that, like, is kind of edgy, like, it has a reputation, like, she ain't a hoe, but she has a little bit of a reputation, like, people talk about her, you know what I mean, like, it doesn't have to be, like, oh, this book killed an entire family, but it has to be, like, this book had a conversation around it, people were talking about this book. So I'm going to do, like, some older stuff. I'm going to do some older stuff, like Well of Loneliness, like Lady Chennaby's Lover. I'm going to do more political stuff. Depends. It really just depends on, like, if I have a unique perspective on it, to be honest. Because there's a lot of controversial, like, political books, especially queer books, but am I going to be able to add anything to, like, you know, the transsexual empire or to irreversible damage? Especially as a cis creator, you know what I mean? And I'm also going to do, like, kind of just, like, books that have, like, this shitty, like, stuff around it. So I want to do, like, Twilight. I want to do 50 Shades of Grey, you know? Actually read them, actually try to talk about it, like, get into it, like, actually analyze the books. And it's definitely going to be more sort of LeftTube inspired, if that makes sense. So what I mean by LeftTube is that if you watch ContraPoint or PhilosophyTube or HBomber Guy, they have these types of video essays that are like with costumes and with like Socratic dialogues and things like that. And so that's definitely something I've been wanting to play around with for like a long time. I've wanted to have characters on my channels. I've wanted to have more sort of like skit stuff on my channel. Narrative characters, or I guess less skit characters and more improv characters, if that makes sense. They are in situations, but they have a internal consistency. So right now I am working on a 3-part series, I know, oh my fucking god, about the Johnny the Walrus book. So like Matt Walsh, he wrote this like shitty book called Johnny the Walrus. And I don't know if you follow like any trans creators like Sam Collins or Samantha Lux, they both did a reaction to his book announcement and like his like sort of reading, because it was a kid's book. So I ordered the damn thing. I was like, might as well. And it was, and he was basically like, you know, making hype because it only released like last month. So I got it. Donated some money to the Trevor Project, by the way, because I am not going to like not offset my cost of buying a transphobic children's book. And then I've been like working on a series on it. So the first part of it is currently in editing. I'm actually getting I'm about halfway through it, I think. I'm pretty happy with that, and that one was just really simple. And the next two are going to involve interviews, because that's one of the things where I'm like pushing myself production-wise. And so they're going to take a little bit longer to get out. And I'm working on the writing in the third one. I need to set up the interviews for the second one. So they're still in different stages of production. And I'm going to take my time with them, to be honest. I'm working a new job. It's going to be like one of those like long, like week type things. You know what I mean? It's a marathon type situation for you know what I mean? Like you're working a set amount of time, but it's not that way every week, if that makes sense. But it's gonna be a lot of work, but it'll be a lot of money, so yay. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that I'm working this production. It's gonna be definitely something different. It's gonna have like a lot more costuming, it's gonna have a lot more like scene changes, and it's just a different style of content than I've been making, and I'm really excited for it. And it's gonna be difficult to adjust. It's gonna be difficult to really push myself and make content that I'm more happy about. Especially since so much of the time, like I have a lot of limitations. I don't really have like the type of transportation where I can go to like faraway places. I don't have the gas, and there's a limitation when it comes to space and all these other things, because I do budget some money for like videos, because I'll be like, oh, like $5-10, like sure, I'll spend that on like a video, but I'm not going to really spend 40 or 50 bucks for like costuming or props when I don't have the space to keep it, and I don't have like any way to remake that budget, you know what I mean? So there is a lot of limitations that I have, but I want to push myself and have fun and just really do something that I am proud of. I look back and I'm just like, that is a quality thing. Like, and I'm never not proud of my work. I always do my best, but I want to really push my art. You know what I mean? I want to do more and do better, which is a drive in my life. It is always something that I am striving to do. I'm like, you know me. I'm a high-strung type A personality, but like, who knows if I actually show that side of me in real life? Because like, I know I have like a giant like book for everything and a giant like list of things to do, but Do I express that on camera? Is false ballsy an accurate representation of my more high-strung, more meticulous personality? You know what I mean? Would it be wrong if next time when I went in to Taco Bell, I just got 2 Mexican pizzas by themselves? See, Taco Bell is a little bitch. Like, how dare they get rid of their Mexican pizza? Like, I love it. So, like, when Taco Bell announced it, Doja Cat was like, hold up, love this shit. I'm pretty sure she made like a song for it. I don't even remember. And then Dolly Parton was like, hey, they were like, Dolly Parton, do you want to sing in our Taco Bell musical about the Mexican pizza? And she's just like, a TikTok musical about the Mexican pizza? Fuck yeah. That's why I love Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is the baddest bitch ever. She is just the most perfect woman. I love her. She is great at everything. I have seen Straight Talk probably too many times to count. Is one of those things where it's like, it's a movie I really, really like, and I watched it a lot as a kid, and I have not seen it once since I was an adult. You know what I mean? Like, you have these movies you loved as a kid, and you think about them all the time, and you have never rewatched them. Johnny the Walrus, the whole Part 3 series, it's gonna be me in like different like outfits, and I'm gonna do like a couple makeup looks, which is really fun. I don't know if I think I've done 1 or 2 makeup looks. I think during my wrap-up live streams, I did a couple makeup looks, but I'm gonna do a few for Johnny the Walrus, which is gonna be really fun. And actually just like show you a bunch of like different sides of my wardrobe, and that's gonna be, it's gonna be zesty, because I have like a very eclectic wardrobe, like a very eclectic fashion sense, so I can definitely like push it towards different aesthetics depending on the styling. So we're going to see me like in a variety of like fun little costumes. But I'm going to have one other video I kind of want to push into the space of production, and that's going to be a music review video. That was gonna have my first official, like, actual improv character, like I was talking about. And I'm not going to name names. It's gonna be a surprise. It is gonna be in the thumbnail. I'm going to have to learn how to do like a silhouette for my thumbnail. And we're gonna have a fresh new character on this channel. And this character is like full costume. Like, I have had this character's costume since like last year. I ordered it online. Like, I literally ordered like clothing specifically so I could play this character, and I've just been sitting on this video concept for like months because I just haven't had the energy. Music reviews are so hard to like really be in the right mood for, because you have to like listen to a whole album just like in order, which is a whole thing. And then you have to say things about it. And it's like, I have done it on this channel, but it was mostly during like lockdown that I did like my music album reviews and stuff. And so that was just a different vibe. I was in a much different like place and like listening to music. And so it's one of these things I'm gonna have to like really sit down and like really just vibe with, because I do want to do it. I just have not had the energy for it. You know what I mean? And that's one of these things that I want to use my hobbies to do things I haven't given I want to use my hobbies to give myself permission to do things, but then sometimes I don't have the energy to do those things. I'm not really sure. We'll see, like, you know, how we go with this. Who knows? 5 years from now, I might be making a lot of really great content. 5 years from now, I might have moved on to other things, and that is perfectly okay. But for now, I'm happy with where I am. I'm excited to make new content, and I just really wanted a fun, just casual video. You know what I mean? I haven't uploaded in like a few months just because I've been working on my Conjuringverse video. I had some, like, you know, setbacks there, so I've just been kind of waiting it out. And so I am going to be posting more content soon, but because I'm like really pushing my production values, because I'm pushing like what I want to make as content, it's going to be a longer production period. It's going to be more involved. It's going to be more niche. And I am really happy for it as a creator, but that doesn't mean that I can like expect to have these on a deadline, to have these out every month. And that's something that like I have to do for myself. If I put myself on like really strict deadlines and I have to be like, oh, I have to make 4 videos a week or whatever. That's what I did in 2020. I did 4 videos a week. I did 6 vlogs a month. Sorry, 4 videos a month. 6 vlogs a month, and all I was doing every waking hour of the day was just content creation. I was making these vlogs, I was making these videos, and I had fun, sure, but there wasn't really enough time for me to do anything outside of content creation. I wasn't living a life and being a content creator, I was just being a content creator. I had just put myself to this grindstone. And it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't something that was healthy. It did not make me love my work. It just made me feel like I had all this stress in my life. And so I really want to have it where I am following the joy. I am making content for content's sake. I'm not making content because I have put a predisposed amount of productivity for me to be a worthwhile being. And that's kind of how it is. You have to do things for yourself. Especially when I don't have patrons, I don't have, a lot of people who need my content in their lives. I'm making this for myself. I'm making this because I enjoy it. And so, for me, that means I have to take things casually. I have to say, this is fun, this is good, but it's not the end of the world if it takes me longer to make something. And that's just something that I accept in life, and I hope you guys do too. So, I think that's really a good ending place for this vlog. I had a lot of fun chatting with you. I had a lot of fun eating the Mexican pizza. Taco Bell, if you ever take it away from me again, I will cut you. This is a warning, whoever owns Taco Bell. Ooh. Remind me one of these days to do a, bad customer vlog. I think I might have one of those. Yeah, I think I have... 2020 era False Bullsy did a My Tales from Retail video where I did bad customer service stories. So I'm just thinking back on reminiscing on my baby vlog days, and I'm just being a vlogger couldn't be me. Anyway guys, it's False Bulls 123 and you guessed it, I'm signing off.